What's up, YouTube? Tinton here, and today we will be discussing the next time a death battle between Aang from Avatar and Edward Elric from Full Metal Alchemist. I think that is how you say his name. Oh dear, it's Mitsuru all over again. No, it's Mitsuru all over again. Oh well, frick it. Screw it, we're going with this. But before we get on to them, let us discuss the last time a death battle. And you know what the most depressing part about that whole fight was? Is that was my second time recording that video, the one I uploaded. The first time, I went full bias train, and I was like, Captain Falcon's gonna win. He like blew up the universe or something in the end of his anime or whatever. I went in full bias mode. I was completely and utterly on Captain Falcon's side. But after watching it, I was like, no, I should be more fair to Johnny. I should look stuff up. I should double check feats, and I did. And while it definitely gave me a better, outlook on the fight, it also made me wrong because I decided to root for Johnny, and Falcon murdered him gloriously. Honestly, that fight was so good. And the saddest part about that fight is that fight, Screw Attack or Death Battle in this case, gave Captain Falcon more love than Nintendo's given him in 15 years. It's just sad, honestly. It's just sad. Poor Falcon. He needs something. Ugh. But overall, I liked the episode. I liked the research. I liked that they used the F-Zero anime, and I got to see a bunch of it. Because I am interested in watching it, but I was never really sure on if it was good or not. But the looks of things, looks pretty good. The animation as a whole was good. And for those wondering about my friend, he was pissed. He was really mad, but he was a good sport about it. So don't worry, he's still watching Death Battles, in case you're curious. Overall, solid episode, and probably one of my favorites this season. I honestly thought nothing would top the Mega Man Battle Royale or Ben 10 vs. Green Lantern, but that one came pretty freaking close. Great episode overall, honestly. No complaints here. But anyway, on to the next time on Death Battle. And this fight has me extremely mixed. On one hand, I've wanted Aang in this show since Toph was in this show. Season 2, baby. This season, I don't know what it is about this season, but so many fights that I've dreamed of and so many characters that I've wanted on the show are just happening. Mega Man Battle Royale, coolest concept in the world. We had Aquaman. We had I almost said Black Panther. Black Widow came into the show. That was cool. Ben 10 Green Lantern. Last fight. Weiss and Mitsuru. Bunch of great episodes, honestly. The season's been a banger so far. And even some of the less exciting episodes, like, I wasn't really the biggest fan of Shazam and Captain Marvel. Still an alright episode. And I was at least right with my prediction, so that was nice. But with this fight, I'm very mixed on who I think is going to win. Because on one hand, I know Aang to a T. I watched the series, I've rewatched the series, I have it all on DVD. I know every bit about Avatar: The Last Airbender. The comics and Korra, I'm a very, very shaky on. Though I did research Zuko for my show when I had him fight Jill from Fire Emblem, so I know at least a decent amount about Korra, and I have a decent idea what Aang is ultimately capable of based on what I've seen. As for Edward, I have not watched Full Metal Alchemist. I do not know anything about him whatsoever, besides the fact he does alchemy. He's the full metal alchemist, and he doesn't need some kind of ritual thingies to summon his crap. And from the basis that I've heard, his whole thing is just alchemy and magic and stuff. And I've heard that he does if he touches a table, let's say a wooden table, he can make wooden weapons out of it, and he can just manipulate matter around him and all that crap. That's what I've ultimately heard. And I do know certain things about his backstory, like how he got his metal arms and how his little brother's in a robot metal suit thingy. So I know stuff about him, but I am nothing concrete. So if you guys could leave some idea of what he's capable of in the comments, that'd be great. But going into this, what I have heard, that I've heard if his metal arm is to break, he can no longer do his alchemy because he has to put his hands together to do it. And that brings up the question, can Aang metal bend? Because if Aang can metal bend, that would screw Edward over pretty bad. Though I know he never does it in the show. I'm not sure about the comics. I know Aang never uses it in the show. Though he does have the seismic sense, as that's shown in the very last episode when he's fighting Ozai. Toph did teach him that. So it is reasonable to say that Aang could have metal bending. Though it's still a bit iffy. Though I don't think Aang needs it. Aang still has earth, fire, water, air, energy bending. Can he? No, he can't lava bend. I don't think he can blood bend either. Though people have people have told me about like some scene in Korra where he like blood bends like Amon's father or whatever and takes his bending away, or it might have been spirit bending. Not 100% sure on that. Regardless, his elemental variety I think is decent enough as it is, because I've heard Edward uses a lot of earth-based like power or whatever, like earth-based, no, well, not power, earth-based manipulation with like the elements or whatever. So Aang has a seismic sense. He'll see all the earth-based like alchemy stuff coming, and he can just bend it back or just deflect it. And Aang can fly. I'm not sure if Edward can fly, but what I've been told, he is unable to fly. And if he can't fly, that gives Aang an enormous advantage, as Aang has pretty much full control over the fight. As that's pretty much what happened with Luigi versus Tails. Tails' flight gives him full control of the fight. He can choose to come down there and attack Luigi whenever he wants. Essentially, Luigi has to play by his rules. And that's kind of similar to this fight, as like Edward has to play by Aang's rules. Aang can fly. Aang will be up in the air, shooting energy, shooting like fire bending, air bending, water bending, whatever he wants to throw at you. Plus, in the Avatar state, he doesn't need his glider, and he can just fly freely and just rain death upon him. The Avatar state especially is going to be very concerning. And think about this. If Edward beats Aang in the Avatar state, he technically kills Korra, because that would destroy the Avatar cycle, and there couldn't be any more Avatars. Think about that. If Edward beats Aang in the Avatar state, he technically murders Korra. That's kind of funny in retrospect. Regardless, I think the Avatar state is probably going to be too much for him. Because Aang in that state, he bested Fire Lord Ozai, and Ozai was a pretty decent opponent. And the overall manipulation Aang has shown over the elements, and considering Aang is the Avatar, so he should theoretically be superior to most of the other benders. Toph was able to hold up an entire castle with earthbending, so Aang should be able to do similar feats. I mean, heck, he has a seismic sense at the end of the series, so it's reasonable that Aang is on par with Toph in terms of earthbending skill. Or at least in the potential of earthbending skill. Toph's probably still a better earthbender overall, but Aang is at least on par with her. And all that being said, I am pretty confident in Aang's ability to win this fight. But then again, I don't know much about Edward, so it's hard to say. But what do you guys think? Who do you think is going to win this death battle? Are you putting your money on Aang, or are you putting your money on Edward? Leave it in the comments below. This has been Tenton. Peace.